Hello and welcome to Summit Live. We are on our episode 10. It's hard to believe that. Episode 10, 10 weeks of all this fun and all we've learned. We're coming to you from Whippany, New Jersey, headquarters of Summit International Flooring. And I have as my co-host today, Mark Becker.
Hi, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Mark is our National Sales Director. And as always, I have on my lap, you'll see shortly, our mascot, Rocco. He's in here as always. He doesn't move very much. And here he is right there. Hey, Rocco, thanks for joining us. We have a very interesting guest today. We have Micky Klein. Micky is the principal of Micky Klein Interiors based in Miami Beach. She's an upscale commercial hospitality and healthcare designer, also involved with residential. She'll speak to us a little bit more about that. So let's bring her on and welcome her. Hello there, Micky.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
We're doing well. How are you?
Good. It's so nice to be on here. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on our show and being our guest. We've been looking forward to speaking with you. I do have a couple quick questions. From what I've been watching on the news, Florida has been, wow, to put it mildly, the epicenter for a while of COVID outbreaks. We experienced this quite a bit in New Jersey when we were right in the heart of it, next to New York City,
Right.
and then it's become Florida. How are you? How is your family? How are your friends?
So thank God we are okay. My friends are okay. My family's okay. Thank God. Believe it or not, the numbers have gone down, and my kids even started school on campus. So we're pretty happy and excited. They took a lot of precautions and made it, the kids have to wear masks and, all the carpools and busing, but it works. And, I guess life is just continuing and moving forward the best possible way.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being at that point of having children. It's bad enough when you're only worried about your business, but when you're old guys like us, you don't have to worry about the kids in school. That's a traumatic thing to go through.
You should know that despite what the camera looks like, we're pretty much socially distant here. We are. We
can't reach it.
Yeah, we're putting our arms out and we're not even reaching each other.
Right.
As I said, I have Rocco. He's never socially distant from me. I just woke him up. He's going to be part of today too. So let's turn it over to Mark. Mark has a few questions to start us off.
Well, I think to start off, Micky, we know a little bit about you already, but for those in the audience who are not from Florida or who don't know you, maybe you can tell us a little bit about you, the things that inspire you, what drove you to get into design in the first place. Just kind of let people know a little bit more about who you are.
Okay. I am a mom of 3 kids. I actually started off in the interior design business by just helping friends decorate their houses and events and, little backyard parties. And one thing led to another, and I really liked it. I had decided that it's time to go to school, and this was already with 2 children, little babies, very little babies. So once I went to school, I decided it was time to do this for full time. I did only residential in the beginning, a little multifamily sprinkled in, and then we branched out to mainly commercial healthcare and hospitality over the years. That is a little bit about the business background. For me, I happen to be obsessed with shoes. It is my all-time passion, shoes. So I always tell myself, if all else fails and design doesn't work, I can be a shoe designer. It's funny because during COVID, no one's shopping, and I'm the one browsing the shoe sections online to see what the newest shoe is. Meanwhile,
fortunately, you found enough success not to need Plan B. And with COVID, I don't think people are wearing shoes. I think they're working in sweatpants behind their computer screen.
Exactly. I should design socks. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. We're originally in Michigan, and we moved down to Miami Beach, and we're based out of Miami Beach now, but we service, clients all over the US. So
well, healthcare is a huge jump from when you do residential work. It
is.
seems not like a linear transition. So I'm
No.
curious how you went from what I imagine is basically helping people with texture and color to all of a sudden having to worry about functionality as well as color and texture.
So that's a good question. It's actually night and day. Not only do I have to worry about functionality because of healthcare, but I have to worry about the residents also, because a lot of people don't even take that in consideration. This is their home. I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel happy and cheerful and like they want to be there. So when we design, a gym space or a resident room or a corridor, I have to take functionality into definitely. That's number one. But really, I want them to walk back to their room from the gym or from the shower room and be like, this is my home, and feel homey and cozy. So it's a lot actually to take into consideration when I'm designing a healthcare facility. Rather than just the single family in a home, this is a bunch of residents. It's funny that you're putting this up. This is an outdoor patio space for residents in Miami Beach, actually.
Right. So it's funny, a lot of the gyms, when people think of gym flooring, they think of the dark black car tires.
Yes.
And,
very institutional.
It's
the interlocking puzzle.
Yeah. They're either interlocking puzzles or they're rolls, but nonetheless, they're still the black gym flooring.
Yes.
And what we do and about this, we have very special rubber flooring, and Alan's going to go into the light box and show you just a couple of them in a moment. We have some very bright, fun, cozy. You use the word cozy. I would call our products, I hate the word unique.
Well, for sure, we're non-institutional.
Yeah, we're definitely not your typical. This is not black car tires. This is virgin rubber EPDM. They're very colorful. There's no odor. These products can be used in some of your designs as well, in the gyms, of course, and also in retail or any sort of commercial or residential environment for that matter.
Yeah, the no odor thing led me back to what I was starting to ask you about. You've had to learn a whole lot more about products and dive a lot deeper when you're in healthcare, because there's a wellness movement today. People are worried about what's in the bath.
Porous. Yeah, they want to know about what's porous and how to clean it.
Yeah, design school today is certainly not what it was years ago because of all of the health issues. Do you find that you're now searching for naturally antimicrobial, antibacterial products? Are you worried about chemicals that are put on to make products antimicrobial?
So we are searching for, first of all, of course, antimicrobial, but also products that can withhold a lot of cleaning, meaning bleach, cleanable products. When we talk about seating, we talk about how, not only porous, but how it can withhold the cleaning products, flooring as well, wall coverings as well, tables, basically any aspect of the entire space needs to withhold being cleaned a lot with very harsh chemicals. So we do try to find stuff like quartz countertops that are naturally antimicrobial. Now they make paint, believe it or not, that's naturally, or they make it to be antimicrobial. Flooring, we don't.
Some companies are putting chemicals to fight microbes as opposed to having naturally antimicrobial products. See, we like to talk about wool carpet fire because it's naturally antimicrobial, or cork flooring instead of other products that need to be treated to be antimicrobial.
Right, no additives.
Right. So it's a tough line to walk right now.
It's a very tough line. I find that the more products that are naturally antimicrobial tend to sometimes be a little bit more pricey. I don't know why, but they are. So when we design, we try to take our client's budget into mind as well. But at the end of the day, we have to do ultimately what makes them happy and what they ask for, while we're, pricing things out and hoping that it withstands with quality. So we have a lot of, pieces of the puzzle that we have to fit in order to have a complete design.
Yeah, as a luxury company, one of the things that we recently got into is cork flooring. And we didn't get into it because it was less expensive. We got into it because we found a cork company that did things that we thought were kind of interesting and kind of cool, because they're painting their cork, they're digitally printing, they're doing custom for small quantities, but you have a naturally antimicrobial product. So at Summit, we're kind of in the same place. I noticed earlier on in your career, when you were doing more residential, you were doing a lot of white and neutral colors, and now that you're into other types of commercial and healthcare work, I see that you're using more color, but it's still that minimalistic look. And that's what kind of separates Summit. We go to Western Europe for a lot of manufacturing.
We do.
Where we have products that are minimalistic in design and have other features. For example, we have carpet tile backings that are free of bitumen and latex and PVC. So the health issue, it does sometimes make product more expensive, but it also offers solutions that you just can't get in commodity products.
I do want to add one thing, and Micky had just said that she finds that the naturally antimicrobial products are more expensive, and that may be the case with certain types of finishes, but with the cork line that we handle, it's really not expensive at all.
Cork is the exception, which is why I said it. But
they're beautifully styled, very different, naturally antimicrobial, and not expensive. So we will have to talk about that at some other time, of course.
Okay.
But you're now, I'm noticing in the images of your work that you're now using more color, and I wondered, is that to give people that more at home, warmer feeling?
So yes and no. Sometimes the client actually asks, for a certain color scheme. Other times they say, well, we have this nursing home or facility in the middle of, I don't want to say nowhere, but in a random state, and we try to capture the vibe of the neighborhood and the state and the city that they're actually in. So if they're using a lot of greens and they want their facility to blend in, then we'll naturally go towards the green family, so that they feel like their updated facility fits within that atmosphere. Or if the client, just sends an inspiration picture and is like, I love this. And I'm like, so what do you love about it? And they're like, well, we love the color. So I'll be like, okay. The more clients that like color, the more fun it is for me to incorporate color in, because I really want my clients to be happy. So if they ask for something neutral, and classic and timeless, we'll stick more with the muted tones. But if they are a little daring and they let us work with a pop of color, then we get really excited and we have a lot of fun with it. Sometimes we'll even custom make the color.
It's interesting that you're using colors of meaning, of where places are, where they're from, how to blend in, as opposed to, just isn't that pretty?
Right.
Yeah, we're all about color too. We love when people, our designer friends, use our products because they really love the colors and they're not just the typical earth tones. We just love that.
It makes us different. So as we were speaking about the COVID type issues and things that are going on, one of the things that I'm curious about is if your clients have made changes to projects that are ongoing. You're in the middle, you've got the design element, the interior finish is all picked out, and now things have changed. The spaces are maybe getting smaller, or the wellness issue has become bigger. Are you finding that you're having to redesign projects that you thought you were at the tail end of?
So it's funny you're asking me that, because I have a call today on a project that we are making some changes to due to COVID and to different code regulations that are going to change, and to, things are constantly evolving with the health association as well. So we have to sort of put a pause for a second on what we were working on and layout, to incorporate, if how many patients have to be in a room, or residents have to be in a room, or does it have to be a single room or a double room? Can they have triple rooms? All of these kind of things are going to play a role now. Besides the materials, I'm talking more layout. So we are in the middle of a few projects that we have to make some changes to.
Sure.
But that's life, and I'd rather them be happy. I'd rather my clients be happy and have what they ultimately want. And pass their
Right.
inspections and be.
Well, it's funny, you know, I was wondering because you said that you used to be involved with residential interiors more than you are now. There is a whole big movement going on where companies are moving out of their major cities, and there's much more work at home going on now. Is
as
that
well as people moving out of cities and buying properties in the suburbs, now
Yeah.
having to decorate their new spaces.
Yeah, I mean,
Right, single family homes.
For instance, I know Google has basically declared that none of their employees need to be back at their offices in California until July, and Apple, I think, is June. So, I mean, more and more people are working from home. We're getting more and more calls on the residential flooring needs, not the commercial. I'm wondering how that's affecting your business currently and in the foreseeable future.
So personally, we are getting a lot of calls for healthcare facilities because they need to make these updates. Medical offices as well need to make some updates and changes per COVID regulations. And there is a lot of residential. We are getting a lot of calls for residential. Because of how we are structured, it depends what the residential project is before we take it on, but we are not opposed to it. It depends what it is. And if it meets the criteria, then, there's really no problem with us taking on a residential project. But we had always gotten residential, inquiries.
Now you're based in Florida. Are you working all over the country?
Yeah, we are on residential projects as well. We always did. So that wasn't just in one state. So when we first started off, it was just residential. It was also throughout the US. So that didn't make a difference, to live in that state as opposed to out of town.
So our viewers should know, if they like the room scenes that they're seeing and they like what they're hearing, it doesn't matter where they
do
live.
out of state residential. Yes.
And on that very note, we ship all over the country too.
We ship all over the world.
We do. We ship all over the world.
Makes my life easier.
Yes, yes, it does.
Well, the other thing that we hope makes your life easier is, and this may not have happened with one of your projects yet, but it has happened numerous times where we'll tell a designer, you can't use that product. Even though the client fell in love with it, we know it's not right for that application. And we take the high road, and if we lose one project, we hope that means that there's loyalty for the next 10 projects.
Yeah.
We always try to do the right thing by you and all of the designers that we serve. It's critically important at the high end that we do things the right way.
But that's quality service. So that's, as a designer, that's what I look for. Not only that when I inquire about the actual material that I want to use, but I also want to hear, is it for that application? Can it be used? Will it sustain, whatever wear and tear it needs to for that specific space? So I'm happy that you stand behind your product.
Well, it's not just that. I'll give you a perfect example. One designer wanted to use a loop pile carpet in a restaurant where they were having partitions that would be moved to fit different parties in there. And if a chair gets a broken foot and rips a loop on a tufted product, it will tear the whole row of loops out. So we moved them into a woven product where that wouldn't be an issue anymore.
Yeah, the same thing goes with a broken high heel. It has a little staple. It just pulls things out.
Or a designer that wants to use the wrong thickness of rubber to save money, but we know it won't perform or protect the subfloor. So while you're looking out at a lot of different factors as far as what's usable in a space, we're looking out for you. And that's why these relationships are so important.
We're 100% sure that you'd rather be told the truth than just, patch on the back and say, yes, use it. We look at you as a long-term, long-time future, existing and future client, not just a one-time sale. That's how we do it. And I'm sure that's how you design your spaces as well.
Now, one of the things, speaking of spaces, that I wanted to ask, based on some of the images that we saw, there were a few that showed outdoor spaces. Are you now incorporating outdoor into your planning?
We sure are, actually. It depends on the climate, but usually, yes, we are, because we want that to be an option, if not all year, for at least a certain amount of time when the weather allows it. So we always try to, that's part of the interior design. The exterior is also part of it. So we always try to, but definitely outdoor areas, the bigger the better.
Well,
That way
we had been primarily an interior company. I know Dave's got something he wants to flash in front of the camera for you to see.
I do. I'm going to walk up to one of these cameras just to show you something. I'm a little tangled in my own wires. This particular product, which we call Grasslands, I'm going to give it to Alan in just a moment so that he could put it in the light box that you could see this realistic dead grass below the live. Hang on, handing it to Alan, and you'll see it in just a moment. Now, this is interesting. My dog literally...
Rocco's taken over.
Yeah.
But that's the most realistic turf that there is, and it's the most realistic hand. It's very soft like grass, but it's not even just that. We also work with woven vinyl. We also have carpet for outdoor spaces. And I asked the question because of those images that I saw, and because we think, and it's again, it kind of goes back to the COVID environment, that there's good, healthy reasons to be able to use outdoor space as part of an everyday lifestyle now. Where in the past, maybe some people had a beautiful deck on the back of their building to host parties, but it wasn't necessarily an everyday use of space.
You never know what you're going to get on live streaming, and in this case, Rocco took over my chair. I had to move him, and now this is what I ended up with as a chair sharer. So
he left you like a quarter of the chair.
Yeah, it's always interesting. I'm sure to get a couple emails on this one.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that outdoor spaces are, you said the bigger the better. I assume that means some of them are of significant space. It's nice to know that while some companies are shrinking down for people to work at home, that other companies are expanding and using maybe perhaps different types of products, but using different types of spaces. It's interesting to hear that.
Yeah, it definitely, it's a must almost, like people need to be able to get that space and fresh air and incorporate that into their interior as well.
So how are salespeople helping you these days? How are they bringing product to you in an environment where they really can't come make presentations?
So a lot of it is actually just like this. It's virtual. We'll do a Zoom call or a Skype call with their products. They'll send me, samples, anything really that I'm interested so that I can see it in person, and they'll do the presentation through the camera, through Zoom or something similar to this. And then that way we can talk. I can ask all my questions, inquire about anything I need, but I actually have the in-person sample with me while we're doing that. If it's
ever of any help to you and you want to show your clients our products and use this studio and the light box, which helps quite a bit, we can do this not just for our weekly show, but we can use the tools that we've purchased here to log you and your client in at the same time, and we can just sit quietly in the background and hold the camera. But we are here
and do that presentation for them.
Yeah, we're trying to proactively find ways to continue to help designers beyond just, Skype is okay. Sometimes it cuts out, sometimes it doesn't. Zoom, we're finding that a lot of designers, if they're bigger firms they're zoomed out because too many people on the screen at once, it picks up whoever's talking. It's more difficult to control everybody on one screen and really understand what's going on.
It's also helpful to have a light box that we use to show samples where you can get a really good read on the texture and the color.
Yeah, so if we can ever help you, let us know that way.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good time that if there's anything that you would like to talk about your company, your strengths, anything that you take advantage of your shameless self-promotion time and let the world know.
Yeah, what do you want to see? For instance, what changes do you want to see moving forward in anything?
What changes do I want to see moving forward? That is a good question. No one's ever asked me my opinion before.
Let me tell you something. We're talking to you, and Alan's writing things right behind him, and he goes, "What does she want to see change?" I didn't quite understand his question when he wrote it, but I figured I'd ask it. Alan, what do you mean by that? You can speak up.
No, they're putting me on the spot.
I'm putting Alan, our producer, today on the spot.
Well, interiors, what changes do you want to see as far as anything from layout to materials?
What changes do you want to see in anything from layouts to materials to anything?
Or ethos in the space?
Okay. I personally would love to see things that are more sustainable. long term, and I know there's no such thing as lasting forever, but the more long lasting it is and versatile the actual product is, my clients seem to be happier. So if it's something that I can put into a dining room and also put it into a resident room and a corridor and just switch up color, but they know it will last and withhold that, high traffic area, that's something that, would be very beneficial on my part, but also for them. So like we were saying earlier, is we'll switch out materials based on where it's going. If it's in a bedroom or a hallway or a bathroom, I'd like to see a product that I can really put everywhere that can withhold water and withhold traffic, all of those types of things, but I can just switch out the color and the texture, let's say. I don't know if something like that, other than a tile, but sometimes porcelain tile is hard on, people want other products than that.
Everything that you just said leads me to a product that we work with from Object Carpet in Germany called Freestyle. They're carpet tiles, but as you can see, the profile is so thin. The fiber.
Can that go in a bathroom?
It's still carpet. I guess you could put it in a bathroom.
You could put it in a bathroom because it doesn't, water runs off of that.
Yeah, and this, when you talk about.
So I would love to see, like, if I had that in a bedroom and a hallway and it came in a very similar, almost like the same thickness and the same pattern, but in a sustainable material that can also go into the bathroom. So it's really seamless. It just keeps going.
Yeah,
something like that in different patterns.
This is a recycled polyester from PET, so it's made from basically plastic bottles. So it's a renewable.
It's a carpet, but it really acts like a resilient flooring.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, Dave. Because it's pulled down so tight, the fibers cannot flop to the sides. They can't compress down. You get the longevity and the ease of maintenance of a hard surface floor, but you still get the slip resistance and the sound absorption of carpet.
I believe that could be an answer. So
and by the way, the backing of this is one of those wellness backs with no bitumen, no PVC, and no latex. It's not tar. It's not bitumen. That's not healthy for people. So
I'd love to see some of that.
Samples. Everything that you discussed though falls right into this product. When you talk about wood and products that are harder, we have products that look like wood that are soft because of a rubber backing. A lot of what you said falls into a lot of our products, and I don't want to turn this into a production of let us show you everything we have.
No,
but it's interesting that what you're talking about is the same thing. We're in the same lane, and that is again why we're in Western Europe finding product, because the manufacturers there are slightly ahead of manufacturers in the rest of the world. So we go to make partnerships with people that are thinking ahead, not just to recycle water runoff, but what goes beyond that. What can they do to make pretty, sustainable product that will last, that is healthy? So I think we're kind of running parallel to each other, and we love that you're out there. So thanks for knowing us.
Well, listen, Micky, we'd like to take this moment and thank you for your time and for joining us on our program today. Micky Klein Interiors in Miami Beach, Florida. She's great. She's a pleasure to work with, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you so much for having me today.
You're very welcome.
It's really nice meeting you.
Okay, so thank you again, Micky. Let's talk about our guest next week. Will be Coco Black of Coco Black Design. Coco Black, if you know anything about commercial gym design, then you know about Coco Black. He does not think like many others at all. He is a very interesting person for sure. You could check him out on his Instagram page and you will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Spectacular design, not your everyday design.
Not your everyday design. You will be wowed when you see his gym design. We look forward to him joining us next week. Same time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. We thank you for joining us today as we have the last 10 weeks. Thank you very much.
And
everybody.
If anyone has questions or needs samples for anything, please reach us at info@summit-flooring.com or hit us on our toll-free number 877-496-3566 or give us a call or send us an email. As you know, we are always here to help you be more successful.
We are indeed. And thank you, Mark, for co-hosting. As always, Alan, thank you behind the board. We will see you all next week. Everybody, please stay safe and healthy.